me when it's going. Today, I thought we'd get together and talk a little bit about what's been going on in your classroom and reading. So before we start into that, how long have you been teaching?
23 years.
And of those years, how many years have you been doing a reading workshop?
I believe we've been doing reading workshop 3 years.
And how do you think reading workshop is going in your classroom?
I think it goes really great. I love it. The kids love it. They learn much more through reading workshop than they ever did when we were teaching through a basal.
And one of the things that you incorporate in reading workshop is an independent reading time. How does independent reading look in your classroom?
Right now, the kids sit at their desks because they stay in better control, and they pick out a just right book on their level, and they read quietly. We're working on our stamina, so they read quietly for anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. And then I will go around and they'll read to me a little bit, and I'll ask them questions about what they're reading.
And so you are currently conferring with your students.
Exactly.
And how often do you do that?
I try to confer with, maybe 2 or 3 every day. So I probably get to talk to each student at least once a week, sometimes twice a week.
And that's in a class of?
15.
Right. And what does you already kind of said this, but what does a typical conference look like?
First, I like to listen to just a little bit of what they're reading, and then I'll ask them just a couple questions about what they've read, and just to make sure they understand what they're reading. And sometimes I'll run a running record or something too while I'm doing that.
What do you think is the most satisfying thing about conferring with your students? What do you think works the best with it?
Just talking to them about the book and listening to them read, because it really lets me know where they're at. Because some of them I don't get to see in a small group during reading time, so then I can read with them, listen to them read a little bit during that independent reading time, and gives me a better idea of where they're at, and I think that just helps me know more about them.
What would you say is the most difficult part of conferring with your students?
Trying to get to everybody more often. I'd like to confer with them, at least 2 or 3 times a week, but unfortunately right now time does not allow that.
If there was one thing that I could help you with conferencing, what would you say?
I think the conferencing, just to see sometimes I wonder if I'm doing it right. So,
Okay.
since you're going to be a resident expert, then you can kind of help me with that.
Okay, well, thank you very much for helping me out with this project. I'm
You're very
looking forward to
welcome.
working with you.
I'm looking forward to it too.
Now please say